Uh-oh. Where'd my screen go? There it is. Yay! All right. How's it going, everybody? All right. Here we are. Sorry it's a little bit later today. Oh, good that Mark just subscribed. Thank you, Mark, just for giving me a reason to play some unicorns. 10 months. Has it been that many? Wow. Zach is to a Home Assistant setup. Was Zach here? Oh, man. Merry Christmas. Wait, what? Okay, sorry. Fernando is first. How's it going? Greg? Welcome, welcome. Mr. Fixers is here. Quindor's here, of course. Carlo, Justin Z. Reese, how you doing, buddy? Greg, Worm from DC. All right, Nick, Nigel, how's it going, everybody? NWO, you get things worked out? Still working on hoping maybe you didn't have bad pixels, I guess? You had quite the conundrum there. Difficult problem to solve. All right, Ybot, watch the stream. Thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening from the UK. Who's that? Tony Jacko. All right, I see some folks from Twitch. Off-pist. Ron. Mark, how's it going? Panda. Adam, Nick. I'm just going through everybody's names. All right, bumping ahead. Thomas, how's it going? Zach Barrett raid. Was Zach streaming right now? Oh, wait, what just happened? Was Zach streaming and I just started? Or you want me to stream to raid Zach? That'd be fun. Was Zach streaming and I missed it? Hello, Henry. How's Hello Dolly? Hey, Worm, you remember. Oh, he just finished. Oh, good. Well, except that I missed it, I guess. Shout out to the Pixel Heads on Discord. Ryan, did they help you out? Oh, Zach just finished. I should have watched Zach. I didn't know. Well, I couldn't watch Zach. But... Oh, just finished a 3-hour stream. Have a good stream. Thanks, Zach. What'd you guys talk about? I got to make sure that I'm tuned in. I got to get a notification set up. So, Zach, are you just streaming on, are you streaming on Twitch or YouTube or what? So that I can get my notification set up for when you are streaming, buddy. Did you use my Whole Assistant logo? Not yet, but I will. I don't know why. It's supposed to be reading those things out loud when you do that, but it didn't work. Just YouTube. Okay. Well, then I probably did get a notification. I just need to set it up. Maybe we can set it. We can maybe work on the YouTube integration setup thing. Am I reading that right? NodeRED? Yeah, you are reading that right, Blade. You are. It's a NodeRED kind of day. So, let's catch up. Where have we been? Let's see. Last stream was that when we got home from... Was it we just barely got home from Vegas last weekend? Is that it? Yeah, wow, that seemed like a long time ago. Yeah, so we did it late. Do I like the Whole Assistant logo? I love it, Brendan. Yes, I do. I love it. Thank you. I think I showed everybody the Whole Assistant logo, but if not, let's check it out. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Handy. So here, this is going to be for the Hobbit hole. Pretty cool, eh? And it kind of, I mean, if you look at it, look at this, and then look at this. You see the resemblance? It's not a coincidence. That's Brendan Thomas. For you folks wanting some Holy Assistant. You were dreaming it. It was also in my nightmare. Uh-oh. Just ditched NodeRED in favor of Home Assistant automations because of simplicity, and they have gotten way more powerful with the choose action. Uh-oh. Reese. Blade Reese just threw down the gauntlet. All right. Well, let's focus on something for a minute. So, my Home Assistant Blue setup. I want to continue the Home Assistant Blue Passover or Passover, that's a silly word. Transition, right? I'm transitioning into my Home Assistant Blue. So to do that, I don't want to do any of it when I'm not streaming. I want to make sure that we capture all of it here. Crossover, cut over. What is Home Assistant Blue? Sven wonders what Home Assistant Blue is. Choose loops and wait for triggers. Automation is almost a programming language. Wow. I'm going to have to play with those. Did Zach stream about that? Migration. Yes, it is the great migration. Choose loops and wait. I need to do that. I need to play with it. Anyways, but I still do have functional flows in NodeRED that I'm not going to stop using. So let's go back to, let's open up another new window here. And we're going to go to, let's start with going to my list. Remember I made a list of the stuff that I needed to incorporate into Home Assistant Blue. Oh, so what's Home Assistant Blue? I didn't even finish answering the question. Ooh, it's been bad today. The squirrels are out in mass. Thank you, Lurk Ops. So Home Assistant Blue is basically the first Home Assistant hardware, I guess. It's an Odroid 2. Thank you, Mark. It's an Odroid N2 Plus with a custom case that has Home Assistant pre-installed. And basically it's the price is pretty awesome. It's the price of the Odroid N2 kit already, with a hard drive installed and power supply and everything you need, plus a Home Assistant custom case that's really awesome looking for $10 more than the rest of the kit. So it's not cheap. It's like 100 and, what was it, guys? 140 something like that, $130. But it, comes Home Assistant pre-installed. It just looks really awesome. They sent me one because they're wonderful. Paulus and Frank and the boys. And I've been transitioning from my current development environment, my current Home Assistant production environment, one that actually runs my house, over to this Home Assistant Blue. And part of my motivation, besides that Home Assistant Blue is just awesome and I need to be using it, the other part is I could do a snapshot of my current Home Assistant and just load it onto the Blue, and then it would all be there. But I've been tinkering with Home Assistant for many years, and not all of my tinkering has been successful. And so my Home Assistant is full of a bunch of stuff that doesn't work anymore or isn't connected anymore, devices that are not there, automations that don't work, blah, blah, blah. It's got a lot of baggage, my old Home Assistant installation. So I'm just going to a whole new one, and I'm using the Blue for that. All right. Blue. And I made a list of all of the things that I want to bring over. And I can't remember what I called it. And because I've been doing backups I've been doing a bunch of backups of other stuff in my Home Assistant or my Google Drive, so I've got all this crap in there too. I need to start moving that to someplace else. Home Assistant Redo, this is what it is. All right, this was the one I was looking for. There we go. Now, reading Twitch. Next, big Hive update tomorrow. Oh yeah? What's it going to bring, Blade? What's in it? Big update? All right. For anybody who doesn't know, Blade is the bot master. So if you're in Discord and the bot is doing awesome things, in almost every case, it's thanks to Blade. So lots and lots of changes. Awesome. I know we've had some fun talks about it. I'll let you make any sort of announcements, or we'll see what happens when it gets pushed out. I've ordered the standard version of the Blue, i.e. no blue case. Oh. Well, you can 3D print the cases too. And I know on the last Home Assistant stream, which was, I guess they're going to be streaming at least every time they put out a new release, it seems like. So they just had a stream on like Wednesday because they put out 21.1. And in that release, or in that video, in that stream, Paulus was talking about the chrome edges of the Home Assistant Blue and how difficult those were going to be to keep doing, and they were having some problems and had to redo some. And so I don't know if they're always going to have those chrome edges, which is too bad. I'm glad mine does. It's pretty awesome. But anyways, more details about the Blue. Who has Pi is worth changing for Home Assistant Blue? Fabio, if you want to change, you can. You certainly don't need to. You certainly don't need to. If you're just looking for, I don't know. If your Home Assistant is running fine, don't change anything. That's, I think, a general rule throughout any of this is if it's working well, don't mess with it. So if you have a reason to change, then change. But if it's working well, don't mess with it. It's not. It's a good update, but it's not a ridiculously amazing update. One thumbs down. What was that 3D printer software you used? Sweet Home 3D? Yeah, Sweet Home 3D. Yes, that's it, Jeff. Yes, that's right. Unless you want to, like Ace, if you want to change, right? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So this was my list of things that we were going to install on the Blue. And I kind of put them in categories. And the first category was the recovery category, because you got to make sure that if your Home Assistant instance ever goes kaput, something bad happens, whatever, that is one reason sometimes to get off the Pi, is because unless you've changed it to run off of a SSD drive, you certainly run the risk with a Pi of having a bad SD card and losing everything. So Google Drive backups is numero uno thing to install when you're starting with Home Assistant. Numero uno. And then some other things that help you out. Tasmo backup. This is actually, it's nice that it does do backup, but really it's a Tasmo manager. So any of your devices that run Tasmota, this Tasmo backup is a really good manager for them. I didn't know about it until just a few weeks ago when we started messing with this. And Sir Goodenough and some of these guys told me about it, and I like it a lot. I like it better than the Tasmo admin. So I'm not going to use Tasmo admin anymore. I'm going to use Tasmo backup. These ones that I put the little dash on are ones that we already installed. So we installed Samba. ESP Home, I don't remember. I don't think you have to install that. WLED, you don't have to install that. We installed Hacks. We installed Alexa Media Player. Notice I skipped over Mosquito because that's what we're going to do today. Live 360 to you, and then tools, other things down here that you need. We did VS Code. I think I'm going to skip File Editor. I'm going to do a big X instead. I got to match my formatting, right? So I'm going to skip File Editor. MariaDB, I'll probably do. And then there's others. But WireGuard, DuckDNS, all those things. Okay. So today, we're going to do Mosquito, MQTT integration, and we're going to do NodeRED. Okay. So let's go. 192.168.1.27. This is my, and funny enough, my I forgot the password on my Home Assistant Blue already. Took me a little while to remember what it was and try a bunch of things and finally figured it out. Yikes. Cool to catch a magical name on stream. How's it going, Dr. Zeepers? Actually got to view the live today. Fantastic. Here we go. Takes forever to install an update. Is that right? Nicholas, it takes forever to install an update. Well then, you might look to see what is causing that. But yeah, I mean, if it's taking a long time, then updating to a faster processor should help, and that the Odroid does that, so the Home Assistant Blue does that. Admin. Last pass, never forget a password again. Yeah, I use 1Password and Bitwarden, but it didn't save the password. What it was my browsers aren't syncing. Like Chrome's not syncing between this computer and my laptop that I use. And so this browser was saved, but that one it wasn't. Anyways. Yeah, I use them. It just that particular password didn't save in there. Anyways. All right, let's go through this. New devices discovered. Sure, let's check these out. Let's go ahead and do this now. Well, let's go ahead and do this. Why not? Why not? I don't know about this radiant heat, because can that be, I don't know. Let's do all of these WLEDs real quick, because this keeps popping up, and this will make it stop popping up. So we are going to configure all of these WLED controllers. Do you want? Yes. Where is it? It's outside. So we're going to make a new area, and we're going to call it the backyard. Or should we just call it outside? We'll just call it outside. I want one area that's all outside. Outside. Yay, it's done. All right, WLED upper. I'll be surprised if this one works. I think this one was not connected to the network last night, so it's probably not going to work. This one disconnected from the network. Yep, failed. Okay, that's fine. It'll come back up. These are lights in the girls' room. I want one area. I'm just going to say bedroom. Probably should do different areas for all the different places, but okay, this one's outside. Toy room lights. These are Zacky's lights. We do want a new area for these. Oh man, we got a lot of these. All right. Bring, bring, bring. Thank you, Dr. Dolomite. Here we are. Let's see. We're outside yet. Back upper. This one was giving me fits last night too. I did a little bit of rearranging. Oh, looks like it's not gonna connect. I misspoke. It did connect. All right. So that's all, at least for those for now. I'm not sure what to do about some of these. I guess the connected ones. Well, no, I'm not going to do the connected ones because that's another thing. One of the reasons that we're going to do this MQTT first is because I do have my mega board MQTT alarm system thing working. So this is Arduino Mega with a Ethernet board on top. Running a sketch that will do MQTT for my alarms and stuff. So that's really cool. So instead of these, I'm going to ignore these connecteds. And if you ever ignore something there and then you want to see it again, you go back up here and you hit show ignored integrations, and then the ones that you ignored will show up again. Hide ignored integrations. Volumio, yeah, let's configure Volumio. If you don't know what Volumio is, it's a music player software that runs on the Pi, or music player operating system that runs on a Raspberry Pi. So I have one downstairs that's connected to the network. Unfortunately, our speaker system in the house doesn't work so well. We'll call it living room. Okay, so now all I have is ESP Home. I've never really. We're going to ignore the printer for now. I don't want it to tell me in Home Assistant when there's something that it needs to do. So here we go. These are just these ESP Home. So great, we're there. We're done with that part. Wait, why is it? Oh, it's still telling me about these same ones. Okay, good. Now, on to MQTT. Oh, nope. First, we got to do an update. Oh, man. No, we're not going to do an update yet. We'll do the add-ons first. Okay, add-on store, Mosquito Broker. This is what we're going to do. This is the MQTT broker we want to use. Great. Documentation. This tells you what to do. Home Assistant, Supervisor, add-on store, Mosquito Broker. Click Install. Okay, install. What else? How to use. Start the add-on. Have some patience and wait a couple of minutes. Check the add-ons to see the results. Create a new user for MQTT via the configuration. This name cannot be Home Assistant or add-on. Those are reserved usernames. If you do not see the option to create a new user, ensure that advanced mode is enabled on your profile. I bet advanced mode is not enabled on my profile. I think I turned it off the other day. Yep, I did. So advanced mode here needs to be turned on. Then we can go back to where we were. All right. Looks like it's already installing, or already done installing. That was easy. All right, and work on the integration page should appear. Discover the integration. Wait, I have to add on. Create a new user via configuration. Configuration. Oh, wait a minute. What? Create a new user for MQTT via the configuration users. Configuration. Really? I don't remember doing this before. I wonder if it just hasn't been updated in a while. Users. Okay, well, we'll do that one. Yep, there you go. Sir Goodenough will tell you how to put in questions. All right, well, it says we need to add a new user. I don't remember doing that before, but okay. Add a new user. We'll call it MQTT, username MQTT, password. Okay. Back here, back here. We do want to set this to watchdog. Frank says don't do auto update. I kind of like doing auto update, but maybe I shouldn't. So I won't. All right, back to the documentation. Oh, I should have started it first. Oops. You can create a login in the configuration of the add-on, Lenny says. That's I think what I did before, probably. But this is nice. This is good because, like, my MQTT broker has been through several different kinds of hodgepodge integration, you know. So this is the latest and greatest, start from scratch. And my guess is something like Mosquito Broker at this point in the evolution of Home Assistant isn't probably going to change much. You want to know why your setup suddenly broke? Auto update, yeah? Then, okay, well, I'll leave auto update off. All right. And then it says check the logs, right? SSL not enabled. No valid certs found. I do not have. It says it takes a few minutes to start. Oh, is it not going to start because of that? Shouldn't. Why won't it refresh? And why won't it start? Ha! This is not supposed to be hard. So maybe the documentation needs to be updated. Should I be doing it? Happy post-Christmas. Time to build some projects. Optional. List of the users that will be creating the user and password. You do not need to do this because you use Home Assistant. Users 2 without configuration. Local users desired. So is there 2? MQTT needs a user login to work. So I created a user login. All right, Dale, I did. So do I need to give it that? I made an MQTT user. Oh, SSL false in the config. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good enough. So in the configuration, I have, require certification false. So that should be okay. I do need to create a login in the config. Now add it to the config. Oh, so right here. Does it tell me that? I want to try and do this. Like I appreciate you guys helping me. So this is good because we're going to identify if there's a place where maybe we can update the. Look at this. Yes, no, yes, no. Oh man. Okay, this is supposed to be easy. Okay. Patience, wait. So maybe I skip step, install, and start. Home Assistant or add-on. If you do not see the option to create a new user, ensure that I did that. Mosquito as a broker. Go to the integrations page and install the configuration with one click. Okay. So it is started though. It does say that it started. It hasn't stopped. So now I go to the integrations. Okay. So let's just summarize. I installed it. I started it. I went to Home Assistant users and created a user for MQTT. Now I need to go to the integrations page. It was right here. I just didn't read it. First time, every time. I know, Matthew, I know that for my current Home Assistant, I don't have a specific user for MQTT. Never done that before. You guys just, I mean, look at what I'm looking at in the chat, and maybe I'm missing things, but logins, anonymous, false. Right. Matthew says anonymous, false. Customize, active, false. Folder. Okay, so I'm going to go into the integrations page now. So I think I've done those parts. I'm going to go to integrations. I'm going to, it looks funny because I turned on dark mode. We're going to add an integration. And we're going to add the MQTT integration right here. And now it's going to ask me, please enter the connection information for your MQTT broker. So that's going to be this IP address, right? 27. Okay. And then the username, I assume that this is going to be the username. MQTT is already there? What? Is there a difference between users and people? Yes. Hello, Rob. Click discovered. Maybe the problem is I'm trying to follow so many different instructions. Should probably not take that long. It was already found. Oh, there it is right here. Configure. Sorry. Okay. Oh, so there you go. So I don't have to put anything in. Okay, good. Great. Great. All right. So backing up again. Backing up again. Backing up again. Now we just go to integrations and there is MQTT. Already discovered. And then I don't have to put in any of the information. It must have already figured out what the user is and all that stuff. Create a configuration for Mosquito Broker. Finished. Yay. All right. Great. So now I want to use it. I just want to see what system options. Oh, nothing. Okay, so the user, the name and the password that I used for user, is that what I'm going to use to tell devices how to connect to that broker? I'll wait and let you answer. It uses username Home Assistant. Oh, well then why did I need to create a user? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. Well, that's easy. No. Come on. What? If you don't want to change all your devices, you can just add a new user. What about the IP address? You created for nothing? No, the stream isn't frozen. If you didn't input a user and password, then it will use your login for Home Assistant. Really? Not the new user I created. Number one rule, don't listen to chat. I'm sure everybody in chat is right from a different point of view. My thought, Rob, is to go into each device and change the broker, because there's leftover. I think there's still some devices that have like leftover retain messages, so that when the power goes out and comes back on or something like that, or they switch on and off, and I don't want that. I don't think I have. You're right, C#. I have not told it to use that user yet. Check configure and reconfigure to get the password. The new broker won't have any of those retained messages. Those are stored locally on the device. Oh, really? Even if you change to a new broker? Crap. They're stored on the broker. Yes, that's what I want. I don't want those retained messages anymore, and I don't want to have to go through and clear them out because I don't know where they all are. I don't know which devices. The look on your face is as frustrated as mine. As a complete beginner, I feel your pain. Thank you, Brian. All right, so I made a new broker. What I want to know is I'm not on the Proxmox machine. The blue won't have any of those retained messages. That's right. Good, 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 good. Rob, that's what I was hoping. So my old MQTT broker is running on my old Home Assistant, which is on the Proxmox machine, and it has kept a bunch of retained messages, and I don't want those. I want the new broker to not have any of those old retained messages. It's great. Check your MQTT logs. I like that. Let's go check the MQTT logs. Is it going to reveal my password? Okay, so it connected a new client, and that's because I did that integration thing. This was not supposed to be hard. Okay. So I guess the thing to do next is, so we have the MQTT broker here. The thing I don't know is what to tell new devices that I want to connect to that. I want them to connect to this MQTT broker. I don't know what to tell them is the username and password. Yeah, so Seamus, you set up a new user for each device. So each device that connects to the broker is its own user. So say let's go to a Tasmota device. This is not supposed to be hard. I thought this was going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about MQTT. It's going to be great. All of a sudden, it's like all this confusion, right? Am I the only one feeling this? New clients. Yes, so it makes a new client every time. Add the username and password of the login to the add-on config, Steve says. I think, Aiden, it took you 5 minutes and because you didn't have as much help as me. See, when you have more help, it takes longer. Oh my gosh. I'm not listening. I'm trying to listen to like 10 people or 20. And I don't know that I even need to. I see chat going crazy, so I'm trying to keep up. Exactly. Too many cooks. Unreal. Good grief. I'm just going to let this go. I'm just going to let you guys keep on going. Keep on telling. I don't know what Paul wants me to do about users. And I guess maybe when you're typing in help like that, what you don't realize is I'm seeing like all these other people and somebody says something and I don't know, maybe I missed your first part of your message further up. But this gets me into a lot of trouble. I start listening to somebody's advice, somebody's directions, and then I start listening to somebody else's directions and somebody else's directions. It shouldn't be this hard, right? I see, James. So there's going to be one way to do this. What was going on with Grace?
Not much. It's just hard.
Okay.
You just hit.
Yeah, amen, Zach. Just click some buttons.
Hit 89.3 exactly.
What?
89.3 subscribers. You're almost at 90.
Oh. But why do I need to go to a different user? I'm still confused about why did I need a different user? So I did go in here. I'm following the directions. I want to know. So let's look at this as somebody who is not listening to a bunch of people who do know what they're talking about. I don't want to say nobody is giving bad advice, but when you follow the directions, what I want to do is just follow these directions. So I want to go to the documentation and I want to follow these directions. What I still don't understand is this part. Why did I create a new user for MQTT? Just explain that part to me. We're going to go simple. And I did create. Am I going to get frustrated? Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Blade, where's the salt icon? Where's the salt emoji? I don't need a new user. You can use any user you want. It's best practice to create a new user so you can delete it to revoke access if you want. Okay. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. See? Okay. I appreciate everyone trying to help. I really do. What's the matter? Why are you guys having troubles out there?
She just was checking.
Somebody got upset? Huh?
It's 2 o'clock.
It is 2 o'clock, but I had to shut the window because it's too bright already. Yeah.
You're cold. That's so nice.
So you don't need this. So this we don't need. Great. Now, down here. So it's optional. We're going to keep reading the instructions. I'm going to keep reading the instructions. I do need a swig of Dr. Pepper, don't I? Okay. So I didn't need to do this, create a new user, which is good because I didn't do that before. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to erase that user. Bye, Mr. User. Configuration. I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm going to pretend I never did it. People. Oh, it was users. Users was a tab down there too. Oh! Scarlax, how you been, man? Thank you. Oh, for the salt. Keep the user. All right. Well, we'll go down. We'll read the instructions, and I won't nuke the user yet. Let's keep reading the instructions. That might be part of it. What's the thing for reading the docs? My daughter's allergist is named Dr. Pepper. Am I jealous? Yes. I'll be Dr. Salt today. Integration, configure, reconfigure. Credentials will be displayed. If I do that, everybody will see them. I want to keep reading because I want to know what this says. Because I'm going to assume that I'm a brand new user and that I don't have any help. Read the manual. That's the one. It's easier to add it like this instead of adding it to the add-on configuration. Okay, well, that makes sense. All right. So this is the basic add-on configuration. Mine is just like that. It didn't change. Logins. A list of local users that will be created with username and password. You don't need to do this because you can use Home Assistant users too. Without any configuration, if a local user is specifically desired, put this in. Okay, so what I did was this. We made a Home Assistant user. I assume somehow we have to tell this eventually. That means you will use Blue's user to connect your clients if you remove that user. Okay. But I didn't connect that user. Like, how should I be logged in as that user when I set it up? Because I wasn't. I was logged in as Blue's. Okay. All right. There we go. Anonymous. Allow anonymous connections. If logins are set, an anonymous user can only read data. Customize active. If set to true, additional configuration files will be read. Okay. Customize folder. We don't need this. Root certificate. We don't need that. Require certificate. Okay, here we go. This is the part that's got me confused. This add-on is attached to the Home Assistant user system, so MQTT clients can make use of these credentials. Local users may also be set. Local users may still be set independently within the configuration options, which we read up there before. For internal Home Assistant ecosystem, we register Home Assistant and add-ons, so those may not be used as the user name. And that's good because I changed that username, right? Disable listening on the ports. Remove the ports from the add-on page. No, don't want to do that. Access control list. It is possible to restrict access to topics based upon the user's login. Don't need to worry about that. Add the following configuration to enable that. We don't need to do that. That didn't help. Grants access to the user you set up in the config. I got you, Victor. I got you. We'll go there eventually. I'm just trying to follow the instructions literally and see what happens. The only issue is when I still don't know what I use as my broker, user, and password. When I connect a device, I go to Tasmota and I set up a new device and I want to tell it to go to this broker. I got the IP address. What's the user and password? Is my default Home Assistant user? I want it to be this new user that I made. Whatever user I want. Any Home Assistant login. Really? So if it's any Home Assistant login, then is it every Home Assistant login? If I'm not telling the add-on which login, which Home Assistant user is the broker user and login, any Home Assistant login. Interesting. Okay, well, there you go. That's the key that I was missing. I did not understand that it was going to be that when I set up, so maybe what we need to do here is say, and this is maybe something I could do because I never get to like contribute. So maybe I'll go in to the documentation, and when we get to this part right here, just explain that. Explain that what you guys just told me, that, and maybe it says it in here and I just didn't understand it, but when you create a new user for Home Assistant, that is going to be the MQTT broker user and password. But you could use any Home Assistant user as the broker and password. So let's try this. Let's play around. Okay, let's play around. Now we need to go to Tasmo backup here, right? And that's why Seamus has a separate user for each device. How many devices do you have, Seamus? Because that sounds crazy. I guess it doesn't matter. If you never created any Home Assistant login, then you would be broadcasting your default and password. Yeah, don't need Blade to get another username and password. Any Home Assistant user can get into MQTT. And so I understand now. I do understand why we made a new Home Assistant user, because you don't want your main Home Assistant user to your user and password to be on every MQTT device, right? Yeah. Yeah. So you can revoke access for just that user. So let's find a switch here. I'm going to find one switch. Probably a good one is going to be this one. This is the light inside my closet here. Yep, great. So I can turn that on and off. All right, great. So let's go to the configuration and MQTT, and we'll change this. We'll change this. So we're going to make this now connecting to the blue, the Home Assistant blue. And then I'll change my user to MQTT. And then the password, it probably won't show the password, but I'm just going to put it over here anyways. Sorry, Blade. Nope, it doesn't show it, so I can put it back over here. So this right here, I could just put Home Assistant blue, or I could do each individual user like Seamus does. In this case, I created a specific user that is acting as my broker user and password. I like that idea of being able to update all of these at once too, by the way, but we'll see. We'll see. The other thing is I might not want to add them all because there are some old devices I just want to take out. Okay. All right. A service account. Okay, that's good. That's new terminology for me, Andrew. That's new terminology for me. So this is the account, the user account in Home Assistant that I created, that I called MQTT, is a user that is really set up specifically for this MQTT service, for me in this case. Okay. And of course, this doesn't really count. But what I can do now, I want to go here. This is my, oh no, this is going to be a different, I'll have to sign into the different broker here, huh? Let's play around with this a little bit. Oh, we'll go here. I know what we'll do. We'll go to the blue. And I don't remember if discovery is turned on or not. Is it still set option 19? It is. So it should be auto discovered. So let's go into here and oops, no, the integrations. Integrations. And under MQTT, nope, there's no devices. All right, well, let's just go see if it discovered them. Yes, it did. It auto-discovered it right there. There it is. Auto-discovered. And it turns on and it turns off through MQTT. There you go. Wait, I just sent a buttload of retained messages to my new broker? I did? How? Really? Did this all send a bunch of retained messages to the new broker? I might, guys. I might use the Tasmota integration. Whatever you had set in Tasmota got sent. The retains are in the Tasmota code. Oh. How did you guys see that? How did you guys know that? The Tasmota console. Oh, here, Tasmota console. Oh, really? Well, that's okay. I don't mind if the device keeps the retained messages. I'd rather have the device keep the retained messages and not the broker. Oh yeah, I do see all that retained. Okay, then let's do this again. Let's do this again. See all the retained. With all the Tasmota devices, that is Tasmo backup. Yeah, Tasmo backup. So let's talk about best practices here. I know, Rob, you did a video about this a long time ago that I really enjoyed and I learned a lot from. Let's review a little. A retained message. What's best practice for retained messages? Because if I remember from your from that old video, it was, you set it in Tasmota to record the retained messages, and then and then where is it retained? It's retained when you do switch, because it was like power retain and switch retain. So I was turning those on, right? Pull Rob in. Rob will come in probably if we ask him. Use MQTT Explorer to remove the retained message. Okay, so I have MQTT Explorer here. I'm going to disconnect it from my current, from that broker, and connect it to my new broker. Oh, actually, I can give it a new name. I'm going to call this. Okay. Great. So this is the new broker now it's connected to, right? Get on Discord? Yeah, Discord would be great, Rob. Discord will work. Are you on your phone right now? Retains are only on the broker, Steve says. Best practice is to have Tasmota at 9.2 and use the Tasmota integration. You need nothing else. It just shows up. Okay, well then let's just do that. So let's just do Tasmota 9.2 and the Tasmota integration. So with Tasmota, say this again now. Tell me again about this, Sir Goodenough. So if I use Tasmota 9.2 and the Tasmota integration, I don't use MQTT for anything? Tasmota wise? What reverse? Oh yeah, so I'm sure that I would have to. So this is 6.2. So let's do Tasmota update. Because I would probably have to, I would probably need to do, you know, the mini, you gotta do Tasmota mini, blah, 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 blah. Upgrading this one. Because if I'm on an old one, you set it up, nothing else. Auto discovery, everything is right. Well, that sounds beautiful. You still need MQTT with the Tasmota add-on. It uses MQTT. Okay. Still uses MQTT, but not discovery. Oh, okay. If you have discovery on and you use the MQTT or the Tasmota integration, are you going to have double devices? Migration path. Okay. Yeah, I remember this. I have to grab an old version, right? Where's releases? Julie. All right, I need the Tasmota minimal. Actually, is Tasmota minimal the same old one? We'll just download it again. Let's go to Tasmota minimal. Down here somewhere. Tasmota minimal bin. Okay, so Tasmota minimal bin. I need to download this one. I probably already have it, but this is for is it version independent? Follow the migration path. This stream is exhausting. Okay, Flash Easy, where are you, my boy? Where's Flash Easy? Flash Easy should be right here. It should be pinned. It's not here. I need to pin this. You must be pinned. Pin to start. No, I don't want to pin it to start. I want to pin it to the quick access. Pin to quick access. There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to save it here. And it's going to say, you already have it there. Oh, no, I don't already have it there. Wow, okay. So Tasmota minimal bin. And then I want to go to just the regular old Tasmota bin, I'm sure, is the one I want. I don't want light or anything else. I don't need any funny languages. I just need Tasmota bin, this guy. Okay. And then I'm going to override whatever other Tasmota bin I have. Great. Now I'm going to go to this device. I know, huh? Sir Goodenough, the page system. We can work on the page. Keep saying that. But I actually have now, I put up a 16 by 16 matrix up here. And let's detour for a second. Let's take a break. Was it 83s? It's not the 60s. That was 84, 184. Yeah. So this is my 16 by 16 matrix that I got right here. And if I go to solid and then turn the brightness, I think I can turn the brightness a little bit, but anyways. If I go to red, can you even see that on my face? Yeah, you can. So see that? I can make I'll make it a little bit brighter because I kind of turned the brightness down a little bit so that it wouldn't melt anything, but there we go. So now, if I change the color, like you can see that it's blue, right? And then that's red. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but blue, that's green, red, yellow, right? So I'm doing that. And so that is going to be the paging system. Okay, that's the paging system. And you could even make it flash. We needed to make it flash. Okay. That would probably be better, right? To make it flash. Oh, Rob's calling. Rob to the rescue. Hey, man. Oh, let's see. We got to fix some soundage here. Now I got to turn this paging system off. All right, we got Rob down here. Let's see. I couldn't hear you a second ago, Rob, when you tried to say something, so. There he goes. Yes. Now I hear you. Oh. And you didn't push. Well, what's wrong with your shirt? You got like a stain on your shirt. Actually, this Monday is probably the first time, or maybe the only time that I will be rooting with you, because I do want you guys to win this week. I do want you to win. I would love to see Ohio State beat Alabama right now. You guys can't hear Rob? All right, let's see.
Alabama.
Let's do this. Properties. Yeah, that should work. Device. Yeah, done. Okay, you can hear him. Sing a song for him, Rob, so that everybody knows that they can hear you.
This is my song, and I'm singing it.
Okay. Said good? Sound good? Sounds good. All right. I was just in the process of updating this one. So give us your MQTT speech. Teach me what I'm doing wrong here, what I don't understand about MQTT that has become apparent today.
Okay, so the first thing is that all the stuff you were doing at the beginning, any Home Assistant user can log into MQTT in the new Home Assistant system. So it doesn't matter which one you use. It is best practice to have a separate Home Assistant user for MQTT, so that if you ever needed to, you can revoke it, or you can just change the password on that one user and not have to mess with the rest of your stuff.
Okay.
As far as retained messages go, the only place a retained message can be is on the actual broker. The individual devices don't ever do anything with retained. They just send it, and then they can read a retained message from the broker, but they don't store anything on their own.
Okay. And so best practice there is to use retain. You do want your broker to keep retained messages.
So it looked like most of the retains that were being sent by that Tasmota were about your configuration, right? And so in that case, it makes sense to have it as a retained message, because you always want your Home Assistant to know that a retained, or that an entity exists, even if it's offline.
Okay. Okay. And then as far as the on and off, the only time that this ever came up for me before with the on and off is like if Home Assistant restarted, or if I was doing an update or something, and sometimes the lights would turn off and turn back on or something like that. Or if there was a disconnect of a device from the network, when it reconnected, it would turn on or turn off. And that was a problem.
The command topic in Tasmota, if you sent a retained message on the command topic, then anytime it reconnects, it's going to issue that command.
Okay.
But on the state topic, or stat in Tasmota, those are used by Home Assistant to know the state of the device. So it makes sense for those to be retained, so that when Home Assistant restarts, and it reads all of your MQTT messages at the beginning, it knows which state each of your switches is in at any given point because that's what's happening on the state topic. But the state topic would never issue a command to Home Assistant to turn anything on or off. It's just for Home Assistant to know what the state of the switch is.
Okay. So then why would it have turned on? Why would a light turn on because of a retained message? Because if Home Assistant had
the command topic.
So you don't want it to retain the commands?
Never. Well, almost never.
How do you make sure? Because it looks like, okay, so those are state.
So normally if something is sending something on the command topic, it's probably going to be Home Assistant that's sending it. So it would be in your configuration.yaml file, but you're not doing that. So you shouldn't have to worry about that, assuming that everything is set up correctly in the Home Assistant discovery, which I assume that it is.
Okay, so probably what I had was, because way back when I knew even less than I know now, which is a surprise that could be possible, but I did at a time know less than I do now. In the configuration, when you're configuring up an MQTT switch manually in YAML, there was the opportunity to put retain true, and so then it was probably retaining the command as well.
Right. Yeah. No, I used to do that all the time too. I'd have like a sensor and I'd write, true under a sensor, even though that's impossible because the sensor's not sending any data. It's just receiving it. So it can't retain it. I just like saw retain and I was like, that seems like something I would want to do.
Same. Okay, good. All right. Okay, great. Sweet. All right. Wow. Well, how you doing? How you been, Rob? How's things? Now that we got you here. Yeah. What's on the horizon for you? Whoa, you just disappeared. Did you hang up?
No,
no, there you go.
Button turned off the camera. Well, CES is next week, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I was looking at how, ways to tune in or whatever. What's your plan?
Get your media pass. Tomorrow is media day, so you can't do anything unless you have the media pass.
Okay. I'm going to be working so much tomorrow. I can't imagine that I'll get to do anything anyways.
Tuesday is the first day, but man, it's going to be brutal, I think.
What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to tune in? What are you going to...
I think basically what it is each company has essentially like a Zoom room of, them presenting their stuff and you can go in questions. But if you think about how CES is, right? Like, it's very helpful to be able to walk down an aisle and skip 50%, 60% of the booths just by looking in and saying, I have no interest in that. But now the only way to do that is to go into their Zoom room, look at it and be like, okay, I'm not interested in that. So I think it's going to be arduous.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a way to see, I mean, gosh, even then, like just looking at like names of companies or titles or anything on the Zoom room is going to be really hard to pick what's good and what's not.
There's nothing good. No good way to tell. They don't even have a blurb about what they do. It's just like there's some company that was called like 43 Maru, accelerated by Samsung. And I was like, that could be good.
Am I going to spend 5 minutes trying to figure out what that's about?
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, sad days. Maybe next year, by the time everybody has vaccine, whatever, we'll get to go back again and
hopefully
have a fun time. Have a fun time. So, hey, while I got you here, and if anybody has specific questions or stuff for Rob, here he is, right? You don't always get this kind of access to Rob, so here he is. What was I going to tell you? Oh, thank you for you and Travis for the recommendation on the Rio link. So I have gone almost completely now to PoE Rio link cameras. And the cameras that I bought before there was all these AI on the camera things, but I still have some room on the NVR. But I have converted almost all my cameras. I've spent a lot of time in the attic. You can't see the top of my head, how scuffed up it is, but my top of my head is tremendously scuffed up after crawling around in my attic many times this past week. So I got a few cameras that are still sitting here on the floor, but I got a whole lot of new cameras. This is all Rio link, and it actually works really well. I've been really pretty happy with it. I got to set up some of the notification things. What's that?
Did you get the 8 camera or the 16 NVR?
16.
Nice.
Yeah, 16. So, and then what I've been really happy with is like for example, this one. This is my solar battery powered one out front. I don't know if you can see, but this is my solar battery powered camera that's outside on a tree, and I was able to pull that feed in pretty well. I have to stop it every once in a while because I don't want it to, constantly be using the battery. But I can pull in, and even other cameras that are, in a location where getting a PoE wire there was going to be ridiculously difficult. Like this one here is actually, it's in a spot in the basement that's going to be pretty difficult to get a new line there. So I just connected it to regular Ethernet and then powered it. And then you just had to bring it into the Reolink NVR in a different way. It didn't just sort of auto discover it, but it's still in the NVR.
E1 Pro too. The Reolink E1 Pro
Yep.
goes into the NVR.
Yep. That's this one right here. That one just popped in right off the bat. There's Holly playing. Oh, and this one has the sound. Guess I turned the sound on this one too. It's laundry day. Don't mind that. Don't let Janice know that I showed you all the dirty laundry, literally. So anyways, I've been pretty happy with this. Now, I don't know how, I haven't looked into much about integrating these things or any of the sensors here into Home Assistant. Do you do anything like that?
So yeah, so there's a new thing.
Now I got echo somehow. Sorry.
And I cannot figure out where a good place to press spacebar is. It's like if I press spacebar on the YouTube stream, it stops it, and if I press spacebar on the Discord stream, it turns off the video. So that's.
So push to talk is difficult.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a new thing for Home Assistant where you can hook up a separate like external thing. So I have a video coming out. I don't know when. I have so many videos to do right now. But you can get yourself a Jetson Nano, which is like a little. It's like a Raspberry Pi, but it's designed for AI stuff, for machine learning and stuff. And you can put that image recognition program on there that I use for my Blue Iris stuff, right? But you can run it directly through Home Assistant. So Home Assistant will say like person detected, or you can even, if you run it on the Jetson, you can even do facial recognition. So you can run and it'll say like, Janice detected in the, DrZzs dungeon or whatever. And you're like, uh-oh.
But you run it on this other Nano thing, huh? And it can connect to one of these other.
Basically, you just put it on your network, and then you point Home Assistant at that, and then it uses that. It like sends pictures of motion to that device, and then that device looks at it and tries to figure out what's in that image. Is that back via its API?
Huh.
There's a guy on Twitter who I think is the developer of it. His name's like Robin Markle or something like that.
I'll have to look into it. I'll have to watch your video when it comes out. I'll have to watch your video when it comes out. I want to know too, Rob, how close are you to full-time YouTube? Are you going to stick with the school thing for insurance and stuff, or what's your master plan?
Actually, this is the first time I've announced it, I guess. I am officially applied for leave next year.
Yeah. Nice. Good for you, dude. Oh my gosh.
I'm finishing out the school year this year, but then next year I will not be coming back, at least for 1 year. I'm just going to try it out.
Well, good for you, dude. That's so crazy. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations. That's great. You deserve it. Good on you. All right. I have not been seeing. Let's see what I haven't seen. If there's other questions here for you specifically in this chat. Let's see what they say. Reolink has Zach says Reolink has the custom integration. Reolink integration has motion detection. Ooh, I'll have to play with that. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, I know that the Reolink integration is still working on getting their stuff to work with it.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Add a new camera, run AI, grass. Let's hope DrZzs and I can follow soon. Yeah, Quindor's pretty close to doing, even though it's not all YouTube, but it's device, based, but going full time with all the fun stuff, like taking a hobby, like what we were doing and turning it into your full-time gig. That's pretty sweet. Man, that's pretty awesome. My daughter was just asking me today when I'm going to retire. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you, I don't think I'll be doing anesthesia in 10 years. But I don't know that it's going to be much sooner than that. We'll see.
Yeah,
Reolink NVR.
Totally like low stakes. I can take a year off, and like after a year, if I decide that I want to come back, I can come back and have my same position, and like it's the most low stakes thing ever because it's just a leave of absence. But it's nice to have that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. For me, it would be quite different, and I don't know that I would ever want to. I mean, at some point, I'm going to be too old to want to take call, which I think happened to me last year. but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. For me, it's going to end up being a license thing. Like if I have to renew my license this year, and then it's good for 10 more years. At that next 10-year period, I'm just not going to renew it again. I'm sure of that. So what's going to happen in the meantime? Who knows, right? Who knows?
Yep.
All right. Are you reading chat? I can't keep up. So somebody was asking about Blue Iris versus this. Oh, is this your, are you putting up pictures of your stuff on Discord? I'm trying to see what you got. You're putting up pictures of your car and stuff? Oh no, sorry, that's James. That's behind you. Oh, that's Frigate. I like that. That's a great name for an integration. Frigate. Okay, so somebody's asking Reolink NVR over Blue Iris. I think Blue Iris is good. I like Blue Iris a lot. So let me explain my perspective of why I switched from Blue Iris to the Reolink NVR. I was thinking about this last night. So one reason that I switched from Blue Iris is because Blue Iris runs on a Windows computer, and I don't have, I've been running it on this computer, but from time to time, it's pretty load heavy. It takes at least 30% of my CPU, and I don't want to build another computer just for running Blue Iris. If you want to build another computer just for that, or if you have a computer that you want to dedicate just to that, and I talked about possibly doing that, and it's great. So you could do that. And I just didn't want to. I just decided instead of doing that, I would do this with the Reolink NVR. The other thing is I wanted to go to PoE. And I know you could do PoE and Blue Iris, right? You could have just a PoE switch, and all of your cameras would just be on your network, and then you would just bring them into Blue Iris. But with an NVR like the Reolink NVR, some of these other companies that have their own NVR, the power and the hard drive and the computer and everything is all wrapped into one, and it's like $300 maybe. So it seemed to me like a pretty economical way to go. And Reolink has been a pretty good brand. I'm sure there's other really good brands. Reolink seems to be the darling of the day. A few years ago, it was something else. It was Hikvision or Daewoo, or there's others. From time to time, it seems like Reolink right now seems to be a good one.
And I had a couple of cameras. First of all, I think I agree with you that number one, Reolink or the NVR packages are just unbeatable as far as value goes. You just can't do any better. You cannot build a PC with the same amount of power that will do the same amount of cameras and the same amount of stuff for that much money. It's impossible. But you were saying that Reolink is the darling. I agree with you, but they are also really not well liked by more traditional security camera people. So there's a weird thing where there's just a few actual security camera manufacturers. There's like Rayview or Raycon. I don't know, something like that. Not Raycon. They're the headphone people. So Raylink. Then there's Hikvision and Dahua and Uniview, right? And if your camera isn't made by one of those three people or four people, then it pretty much doesn't exist. Now you've got like your German Axis right? But Reolink is pretty much the only Chinese camera manufacturer that doesn't white label their cameras. Everybody else white labels their cameras. Reolink is making their own cameras and selling them direct only. And so that's why Reolink is so much cheaper than everything else, is because all these other companies are doing, other things where, if you want to buy a Hikvision Direct, you're going to pay a little bit extra because they've already got the name. Now you could buy Anki, right? Anki is just Hikvision, but Hikvision has sold them one specific camera from their line that they can use. Do any of that. You won't find another branded camera that's made by Reolink, and vice versa. The Reolink isn't made by anybody else.
Interesting. How do you get this kind of information? You just read this, and where do you find this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I spend way too much time doing all.
That's all right. That's going to be your full-time job, so that's okay. You can do that. Well, so what do you think about the Reolink as far as quality and stuff? They seem to be pretty good on my end. I mean, and price-wise, they've been great.
Yeah, they cannot be beat for the price. I think that there are better cameras to be had. If you wanted a 4K camera, for instance, you could get a better camera than the RLC 810A for $350 a piece, probably.
Jeez.
The 810A is $85. It's like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, these and for the NVR cameras, for what it's worth, I know that they have some cameras that they sell that will only work with their NVRs. And I made the mistake a while back of buying a bunch of them. And so I had like 4 Reolink cameras sitting in my closet. They were like 5 megapixel cameras, PoE, but I had to have a Reolink NVR to use them. They wouldn't work with anything else. And so I'd already invested that money. That was another little side motivator for me to just go ahead and get the Reolink one. But the other thing that's been happening in our house, everybody knows my Wi-Fi woes from time to time. So I wanted to get as many of the cameras off. I think that might have been part of your advice to me at one point, was get as many of the Wi-Fi cameras down as possible. So that's one of the reasons to go to this system. And then having my cameras outside of Home Assistant, outside of like Blue Iris, it so far has been helpful to my wife, because she doesn't get into Home Assistant. She does not open the Home Assistant app, right? And I didn't really ever set up the Blue Iris app because I always looked at my cameras in Home Assistant. But for her, I've had like 4 or 5 Wise cameras around the house, and so she looks at the Wise app. But now I've actually got her with the Reolink app, and she looks at it, and she looks at all the cameras instead of just like the 2 or 3 or 4 Wise cameras that I have. So
the Reolink app is really good.
The Reolink app is really good. I gotta agree. It's quality. It's been good. So I'm happy that I got what I got. I wish they had a doorbell. I need a doorbell now, a Reolink doorbell that would go into the NVR, that would use the same app, give the wife the notifications, that kind of stuff. But they don't seem to sell a doorbell. Have you seen anything like that?
Reolink doorbell? I haven't heard anything coming down the pipeline either. I think the thing coming down the pipe, I don't know if I should say that. The next thing coming down the pipeline that I've heard of is they're going to make an outdoor E1 Pro. So it's going to be plug-in Wi-Fi, but pan-tilt, but outdoor. And I think it's going to come out and be like pretty inexpensive too, which should as far as
I want to ask the so none of the, and Reolink, they have sent me a couple things like that, a couple small cameras, but most of this I actually bought with my own money, which is whoa. Hey, I got it. But they have a battery / solar cell network camera for, I don't remember what it costs, $250, $260, something like that. And we've got this property up there now that we're building on, and I actually bought a trail camera, right, for like checking for deer and stuff like that does cell, that I'm going to put up there this week up at that property. But then I saw, or somebody shared with me, that Reolink has one. I would be really excited if that would also be something that could be in my NVR. I don't know if that would work or not, but
it would go into the app, but it wouldn't go into the NVR.
Okay. Well, even in the app would be pretty useful. So
yeah, the Reolink Go, I think is his name.
Is that what it's called? The big one?
I think I have one over here somewhere.
I see a ton of subscribing going on over there. Tons of subscribing going on. Okay. LTS is rebranded Hikvision. A little late playing D&D. Oh, hey, how's it going, Kuba? Can you only use Reolink cameras in the DVR? No, you can't. You can also. Oh my gosh, you got a few Hikvision. You got a few Reolink cameras there.
They're not all Reolink. It's just cameras that I've tested that I don't have any need for.
So as I'm going around my house now and I'm taking down all these other cameras, I'm thinking I got to come up with like some sort of giveaway system, right? Because I don't need them. They're good. They're useful for somebody, and I don't want them. So I got to start some kind of big giveaway for all this kind of stuff. Sounds like you should too. You probably have even more than me because you've done a lot of like big reviews where you've got 10 different devices that you're comparing. So I can't imagine what your closet looks like.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I tell you, I spent so much money on PoE cameras too. Just like, everybody's like, oh, they just send you those for free. I'm like, I get some of them for free, but if I need to make a video and let's say I've got 4 cameras and I want to do 8, it's not worth my time to like reach out and try to get free cameras from the other companies. Like
yeah.
So,
And anytime they give you a free camera, there's always hooks. They always want a catch. They want to make sure that you do this or that for them. But At least I feel morally obligated.
Especially Reolink. Reolink's really good. Like if I got a Reolink camera and I told them like, hey, this thing sucks, Alan would be totally fine with it. He'd be like, okay, say that.
That's great. All right. Well, what do you got planned for the rest of your Sunday? Besides hanging out with us? What were you doing?
I always do edit video.
Edit videos? So we got what are you editing right now? Can you tell us?
Got a NodeRED video coming out. NodeRED 2021.
Sweet.
Yep. It's going to be kind of just another like getting started. And then what I'm going to do is ask for like the craziest automations people can think of. And then I'll do a follow-up video of just trying to do those like crazy automations in NodeRED.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, more questions. Reolinks are not compatible with Blue Iris. No, they are. It's just that they do have some cameras that they sell that only work with their NVR, but many or most of their cameras are not in that category. Most of them will work fine. I was using
the only 3 that don't work are the B800, the D800, and the E1.
The outside
Pro. Well, yeah, none of their battery cameras either. So the Argus and Argus Eco, those ones don't work either.
Yeah.
Which that's to be expected. No battery powered camera works with Blue
Iris. Can you do updated? Go slow, Rob. Still learning the basics of NodeRED. Go slow. That's what they say.
I think it's pretty slow. And Kuba, if you look in the old Alexa integration video for I said her name. Never mind. If you look in the old Schmexa integration home NodeRED video, in the description it shows the new one. There's a new skill or palette for it. The old one doesn't work. You're right.
I was going through NodeRED and deleting old whole flow pages or whatever that I wasn't using anymore, and I came across the one where we messed with that before, the local Alexa control whatever, and I still had it there. So good, there's new one. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do more live streams. Once I am not teaching 50 hours a week.
That's going to be so great. Good for you.
I have my studio set up more to do it now. I'm just on a laptop right now, but I could.
Whoa. Oh, he's muted. He's not pushing them. You're muted. Holy, look at that. Dude.
So this is my setup. Check this out. Hang on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
So that thing is the thing that came down from the ceiling is a Chinese clothes drying rack that you're supposed to like put out on your patio, and then it like comes down from the ceiling and you put your clothes on it and then lift it back up. And I was like, that looks like the perfect thing for my studio. So I got my cameras mounted on it. I got my lights mounted on it. And I can just, send it up and down whenever I want.
Dude, that is impressive. That is impressive. And you have you have teleprompter? I saw something there.
Yep. It's got my teleprompter on it and yeah, everything.
So what do you use to send stuff to the teleprompter? Do you have it on your phone, or do you send it from a computer? What do you do? Just on your phone. So do you set your phone up there?
Yep.
That is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. That looks like a professional. That looks like somebody who does videos for a living.
And honestly, it was so cheap too. Like I was looking at stuff at like camera rigs for the ceiling, and it was like $4,000 or something like that for like a setup that I could move lights around. The little motorized thing was like $250, and my lights are like, I don't know, $150 or something. It's so cheap.
And then what camera are you using over there?
It's a Sony A6500.
So that's a good camera. That's a pretty good camera.
It's pretty good. I suck at it. I don't know how to use anything. Let me see if you can see this thing.
So you have, I don't know if they've all started coming through the chat yet, but you definitely need to do a streaming setup. I mean, if you haven't got a video planned for this, you need to, right? That is awesome. We can't hear you, but that's awesome.
Oh, that's what the teleprompter looks like with the phone.
That's awesome, dude. That is so good. That is so good. And now, did you make that teleprompter, or did you buy that somewhere too?
So I used a DIY one for a really long time, for like 2.5 years, and then I bought that one. That one was like $100, but I used to use I took the glass out of a picture frame.
Yeah.
3D printed a little like clip that went onto the front of my camera.
Yeah. That's what I haven't always used a teleprompter, but when I have, that's exactly what I had. Exactly. You just 3D print a little thing. There's a few different models out there, or you can make your own, whatever. But yeah, just a picture, the glass out of the picture frame. That's awesome. Well, yeah, you're definitely gonna have lots of requests for doing a video on how you got all that stuff and what all that stuff is. I'd be very, very interested in that. That looks awesome.
All right, I gotta take off.
Okay. Well, thanks for helping out. Thanks for coming to the rescue. Good chatting, man. Since we don't get to hang out this week, normally, like this is every year for the last couple, we've been hanging out this week.
Yeah,
we don't get to. So
this is usually like the highlight of my year, going to see
right. Yeah, good times. Next year we'll be back.
We'll look forward.
Man. Okay, take care, Rob. Thanks, man. See ya.
See ya. Later.
Bye. That was fun. That is a pretty sweet streaming setup he's got, huh? Super jealous here. Super jealous. So we were partway through updating this one here, and I have not paid any attention at all. Dude, are we already at 2 hours? Wow, we didn't get hardly anything done. Dang it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to do this update and the Tasmota integration yet. We're going to put that one off. 95 minutes. Oh yeah, that's right. I started at 1:30. Okay, so we do have a little bit of time. That's good. That's good. We do have thank you very much, Zach. We still do have a little bit of time. So what we're going to do is the integration path. And do I have to do all that? Can I not just go to minimal and then to 9.2? Oh my gosh. 5-hour stream next time. I'm doing all right as is, Brian. Thanks. I don't have the time or the capacity in my day to spend a lot of time upgrading my stream setup right now. Need to follow the upgrade path. Go to 6.7, then 7.2, then 8.5, then 9.1, then the current release. Holy crap. So if you hardwire it, I could skip all that. So I can't just go minimal and then 9.2, huh? .2 minimal, 9.2, and brick to plug. Okay. Okay. Well, that's really good. Really good. Really good. Thank you, Sir Goodenough. Thank you, Seamus. It is a lot of numbers. That is a lot of difficultiness, and that's probably why I'm not going to do it. No, I will do it. So if you hardwire, you can jump. Otherwise, follow the OTA path. Okay. That's good news. So for everybody who's wondering what in the world are you guys talking about, what we're talking about is Tasmota, which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful firmware for ESP-based smart devices of all kinds. And it has gone through many, many revisions and upgrades over the years that I've been using it. And I haven't done a great job of updating them as they go along. What these guys are saying is if you want to get up to the latest version of Tasmota, Tasmota has an over-the-air update option where you go firmware upgrade. I don't know why it doesn't want to go firmware upgrade. Oh, all of a sudden it lost connection. That's interesting. Oh, I know why. Because the kids turned off the light switch. Who's in my closet? What are you doing in there? Why isn't it? Hi. Oh, you're stealing?
I'm stealing.
Zoe is stealing. Anyways, now it won't connect. Anyways, you need a closet camera. And well, now that I got an NVR, I could have plenty. Reese. Anyways, what I was trying to show that now I can't because I think Dawson came and pushed the button, and so this device disconnected from the network, and now it's trying to reconnect. And actually, it may not have a reserved IP address, which it should still connect to the same one. Dang it, Dawson. Dawson was trying to be funny and turn the light off on his sister while she was in the closet, and in the process, he disconnected my device. Oh, I don't need my headset anymore. Thank you. So as I was saying, Tasmota has a way to update devices over the air. So you can go here and upload a file and update the firmware, which is great. But as you can see, like, look at this. This is firmware 5.14. Right now they're on 9.2. If I try to go from 5.14 to 9.2, it will break. And I will have to physically get it out and connect it to my computer and upload the file again manually. So what Sir Goodenough and Seamus and probably others are saying as well is in order to do it and not brick your devices, in order to upgrade, if you have old versions of Tasmota and you want to get to the new version, which now that there's a Tasmota integration for Home Assistant, I'm kind of feeling motivated to do that. I haven't been motivated to do that. They've all been working fine, and maybe I'll leave a lot of them. But because I'm going to a new instance of Home Assistant on the Blue, and there's an integration for Tasmota devices now, seems like a good idea to maybe try and use that integration. So I'm going to start with some devices, not with all of them. But anyways, there's two ways to do it. One is to physically grab the device out if you can, or if it's a smart plug, that might be a little easier. If it's a device that you can quickly connect to a computer and upload the file manually, then great, you can do that. But if it's not a device that you can upgrade manually because it's in the wall or it's in a device that's going to require you to take a bunch of screws apart and do all that stuff. What are you doing, honey? Then your only other option then is to do what Sir Goodenough is saying in the chat, which is go through all that process of upgrade flow. So if you're at a certain level of Tasmota, like I'm at 5.14, first I have to update to 6.7. Then I'm going to have to update to 7.2. Then I'm going to have to update to 8.5. And then I'm going to have to update to 9.1. And then I can update to 9.2. And Dale says, take the extra 5 minutes and do what Sir Goodenough says. Maybe we should. Maybe we should do that. Let's do it. Let's do it. It might mean we don't get to NodeRED at all today, but let's do it. Let me ask Zoe what she's doing for a second. What is it you need? Oh, for that. Oh, cool.
And it was not those screen downstairs. And like, I think it's came off. This is the right one.
Well, it doesn't just have to fit. So see, it says 12 volts. Mm-hmm. This one is not being 12 volts. So what you need is one that is 12 volts. Oh, this one's definitely 12 volts. I don't know.
12 volts.
How many amps? Should do 12 volt preamp. Here, use. Well, you always got to read that. You always got to read that, because if you have a 5 volt device and you plug in a 12 volt power supply, it will go poof.
I will electrocute myself then?
No, you won't electrocute yourself. You'll blow up the device. All right. Zoe is our historian. She's our family historian. She is the best at going through old pictures and old videos and having fun. And so that's what she's doing right now, isn't it?
I have a ton of pictures I'm going to show you when you're done.
Aw. She's being really sweet and coming up with...
I found one with me pouting while I was getting instructed, like swim instructor. Like, hold your hand as my little drawer.
Anyways, she's getting one of our old hard drives out to play with and get some old pictures and stuff off of it. And she was looking for the right power supply, and she was just saying, oh, if this barrel connector fits in this hard drive, then it's going to be right. And she had like a 5 volt power supply. She had a 5 volt power supply. She just actually had like I think it was like an 18 volt power supply. So hopefully it didn't break anything, but she plugged it in and it wasn't working. So now I got her the right one. It's just a 12 volt power supply. I just had to show her to read that it says 12 volts. Tasmota integration means you don't need YAML for any of your Tasmota devices. Awesome. Okay, so let's do this. So we're going to start the upgrade. So do I have to go, oh my gosh, Sir Goodenough, do I have to go to minimal every time? So I'm going to have to go from this one to minimal and then to each of those other levels. Holy cow. Yeah, it was 12 volts. Yep. It will select minimal itself. Don't push minimal. Push the Tasmota light bin version of those revisions. Oh, okay. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Did I check the amp? I don't know about which amp. My Slamfer? Ah, the thing is still disconnected from the network. That is going to be a problem. Okay, here we go again. Sir Goodenough says, here's the release pathway. So let's go to Tasmota and grab the correct releases and put them in our Flash Easy folder. If everyone doesn't have a Flash Easy folder, you should. On the power supply, squirreling. Yes, that's right. Oh, I see. The amps. Yeah, 3.5 amps. No, I didn't check the amperage on that. I just gave her a 3 amp power supply. It should be fine for a hard drive. To find the new IP, yeah, I could do that too, Charles. And I will, but not for right now. We're going to use this other one. All right, we're going to go to releases, and we're going to grab all these releases. I don't have anything that's as old as 4.2. I don't think I have anything older than 5.14. So we're going to go, oh, here is the releases page, or the migration path. But what I want is, I'm on 5.14. So the next one I need to go to is 6.71. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to grab the minimal bin for this one. So minimal, and I'm going to have to rename it. so that I can keep it straight. So minimal, no, yeah, not minimal, 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 not minimal. He said not minimal. He said use not minimal. I know, he's yelling at me already. Light. Oh, there's not a light version of this. So this older one doesn't have a light version. Yeah, this one doesn't have a light version. So then can I just jump from minimal to minimal? Theo got his home assistant blue. Fantastic. Sonoff plain. Basic? Basic is the closest thing. Minimal will equal brick. Okay. I guess it's going to be basic. I mean, look at the sizes, right? It's got to be something size. No difference with the Nook Proxmox, but feels like I'm part of the community now. You know what, Thiesk, you're kind of right. Like, I don't know that I'm going to see a big performance update because my performance from Home Assistant has been pretty good. But I got this cool thing. I got to use it, right? Okay, so we're going to grab this Sonoff Basic, and I'm going to name it according to what it is here. So it's 671. All right, so that I know which one to use. You went minimal. Seamus went minimal between each version. But if you don't, as long as it's less than 500, you should be fine, right? As long as you can fit it. As long as you can fit 2. Okay, so we got the 6.71. The next one we need is the 7.2. 7.2. So between 6 and 7 is when it changed from being Sonoff, because the initial reason for Tasmota was it was Theo Aren's Sonoff MQTT over the air, or something like that, right? Was what Tasmota stood for. Now we can do Tasmota Lite. And we're going to do Tasmota Lite, and we're going to call it 7.2, or just 7.2. Okay, and then we go back. You had to go minimal to go from 9.1 to 9.2. Yeah, I'm sure you do if you are, well, that's the key. Anytime you only have one, I say that, but that's if you're on a Sonoff, right? Because most of those Sonoff devices, or most of the Tuya devices that you might have as well, most of those devices have a 1 megabyte memory. So you can't have 2 versions of the firmware that are bigger, that are each bigger than 500 megabytes, or they won't fit. So the basic gist is the newer Tasmota integration. Once you have a new Tasmota device, Home Assistant will find it without set option 19 in the console. Yes, Raspy, I believe that's true. That's what I'm now. Major change in parameter storage layout. Oh boy, okay. So here's 8.51. Oh my goodness, look at this, looks weird. But we're gonna go with, we don't want minimal, we want light. And I don't want the BizG, I just want the regular one over here, okay. Tasmota Lite, and it's 474, so that should still be okay. So this is Tasmota Lite, and this is 8.51. Okay. 8.51. And this is good because I'll save these files. Oh, did I say megabytes, kilobytes, whatever? You know what I'm saying. 1 megabyte, 500 kilobytes. I'm sorry. I misspoke. I do that frequently. All right. 851, and then major change in internal GPIO function representation. Okay. Have we gotten to the point where we can turn off some of the lights? Like, you know, the old green light that was always on and stuff? All right, so now we're going to go Tasmota Lite 9.1. Okay. And then I guess let's go get 9.2. Let's go to the latest releases then. Code, latest. And then we'll grab, which one do I want here? I guess if I'm going to go, I have to go to anytime. So for any of these devices, currently you're on 9. So say you're on 9.1, but you're on the full version of 9.1, which is going to be like 600 kilobytes or something. You want to go to 9.2, you're going to have to go minimal and then 9.2, correct? Why less than 500K, Michael? Just because there is 1 megabyte of memory on the device typically. And so when you're doing an over-the-air update, which is what I'm doing, so I'm not physically connecting it to my computer, I'm doing an over-the-air update, it has to be able to simultaneously hold the new firmware and the old firmware. So if your old firmware is 600 kilobytes and your new firmware is 600 kilobytes and you only have 1 megabyte, they won't both fit. And so you can't do an over-the-air update. Why not switch over to ESP Home? So my approach to ESP Home versus Tasmota has been, if I'm building my own device, I go to ESP Home. If I'm flashing a commercial device that already has, its pins wired to certain whatever parts, functions, then I go with Tasmota. So all my Sonoff devices run Tasmota. All of my Tuya flashed devices run Tasmota. If I take a Node MCU or a D1 Mini or an ESP32 and I build my own sketch, or I want to make my own sensor, my own relay board, whatever, then I use ESP Home. You can. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying to use, because Sonoff, you can use ESP Home on a Sonoff, or you can use ESP Home on a Tuya device, but I've just gone with Tasmota generally for this. And Tasmota gives you Tasmota devices have a lot of really nice, like the user interface and the stuff. I just understand it. I've been using it for a long time, so I understand it. Bearded Tinker just wanted to say hi. How's it going, buddy? If you only have a few Sonoff devices and you use the firmware that comes with them. And that's the other thing, Jim, is I started all my Sonoff devices when there was no Sonoff integration in Home Assistant. There was no way to use a Sonoff device in Home Assistant 3 years ago. There just wasn't. The way to do it was to make your Sonoff device use MQTT and then make your Home Assistant use MQTT. And the bridge between those two was Tasmota at the time. There was a couple others like ESP Easy and some of those, but Tasmota stuck best, I think. And Renee has a great point. Use ESP Home if you don't want to use MQTT. Great. And I on my ESP Home devices, that's one of the things I like, is that they have one less link in the middle because they don't need MQTT. So there's options. No, I'm not going to say one's right and one's wrong, just options. And I'll explain to you why I do what I do. All right. So now we're going down here and we're going to get the regular old Tasmota bin that is 9.2. Tasmota bin. And this is 9.2, so I'm also going to name it so that I know which one I'm doing, okay? Is there an ESP Home integration specifically for Sonoff? ESP Home, yeah, you mean like there's a sketch, right? There's an ESP Home sketch that for the Sonoffs. Yeah, I would expect there is. I don't know what they are, where you get them exactly, but basically you just, I could try that. We could do that. We could see if there's a ESP Home sketch for some of these Sonoff, old Sonoff devices, and just upload that. It is larger than 500. It is larger than 500. That means, John, I'm going to have to, holy cow, not only is it larger than 500, oh, okay, you're looking at this, it's larger. Some of these are larger than 1 megabyte, but that's because it's Tasmota ESP32 version, right? So you're not going to put that on an old Sonoff. But this one is larger than 500, so I'm going to have to go minimal first and then go. Antonis says, what are the major benefits of MQTT? I think I would guess it's compatibility or sort of a universality, because you can have MQTT if you it's a language that a lot of different devices can use. For example, this. Right, this is my Arduino Mega Ethernet alarm / relay controller, and so I want this device to connect to Home Assistant. So the way to do that is to write an Arduino sketch that uses MQTT, and then I have my MQTT broker, and I will have to set these up manually in Home Assistant, but I can set these relays and binary sensors in Home Assistant. So MQTT is not simplicity. It depends. I mean, there's a difference between easy and simple, right? It's simple. It's got like 3 steps, but it is not always easy. You do have to understand topics, and this whole day has been me not understanding retain and broker users and some of that stuff. So it's not easy, but as far as simplicity, it's a very basic system, I think. And ease of debugging. Yeah, when you have like ESP or MQTT Explorer, which I use a lot, and that's how I used like I could not have done this sketch with MQTT Explorer or without MQTT Explorer, because this was how I was able to make sure that this thing was working. And without this working, without MQTT Explorer, this wouldn't be working. And you can do a lot of stuff in here. You can look at MQTT Explorer and see things like, look at this. This is actually IoT Link is doing something with my computer that I didn't even know about. I must have been playing with it and installed IoT Link at some point on this computer, because I'm seeing here that there are some topics being used. That's interesting. Can you use an Arduino custom sensor and send it through MQTT without Ethernet board? Yes, you could do it with, you'd have to have some way for it to connect to your network, so it'd have to be Wi-Fi, but yes, you can. That's the Home Assistant integration for IoT Link. Yeah, I think I see you're right. It's under the Home Assistant heading here. So it's the Home Assistant integration for IoT Link. So again, something that I'm not using anymore that I probably need to get rid of. So I didn't acknowledge there were a tremendous number of new subscriptions a while back. And I don't know if that was maybe somebody else gifting. I hope I didn't ignore anybody. But let's celebrate. It's not easy for new users. Don't kid yourself. You're right. You could use it for other things besides Home Assistant. However, almost everyone here is for Home Assistant, so why even make it a point? ESP Home directly ties into Home Assistant. Yeah, there you go. Funny thing, I just found out my older brother has been watching DrZzs for the last 2 years. Something like that happened to me the other day. I can't remember the details now, but somebody said something like that. Like, I've been watching your videos forever. I remember. So, you go look at, I should have said something when Rob was on, but you go look at Hookup Rob, right? And he's 180,000 subscribers or something like that. He's going to be 200 pretty soon. He makes great videos, and he reached out to me when he was just getting started, and I didn't have a lot of subscribers, but I'd been doing it for a little while. And he's like, hey, let's do a collaboration. So we did a collaboration, him and I together, when he was first getting started. Tasma admin will not work for this. Not all the same version. Oh. ESP Home is even less simple for new users. That is very true. Seamus has a very good point. Another good thing about Tasmota, now that's not necessarily saying it has to be MQTT, I guess, at this point, but Tasmota uses MQTT for most of its communication. But anyways, Tasmota has a very nice user interface and drop-down menus for selecting which sensor or which pin you're going to use. And so to set up Tasmota for me when I was starting, for sure, was easier than for me sitting down and writing YAML. And in ESP Home, you still have to write it in YAML. Now, I think writing in YAML with ESP Home is way easier than writing, whatever C+ stuff from Arduino directly, right? Tasmota rules. And I haven't even really played with Tasmota rules. I use Sonoff Mini Flash with Tasmota, customized with sensors, heat, temp, light, up to 3 touch switches. Zone off was the inspiration. Thank you, Richard. You probably know how to use it now better than I do. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to this. So now I think we're ready. You guys think we're ready? I think we're ready to start the upgrade. So this is 5.14. So we're going to go to the update. Oh, started. Oh no. What? Oh no, shoot. What did I just do? Oh good. No, it's not going to do anything. Cancel. Shoot. I just hit start upgrade instead of loading it up manually. I think I probably just ruined it. And maybe it just won't do it, right? Because it won't fit. Oh, man. No! I wasn't paying attention. Hopefully it won't do anything. If anything, it's probably broken. Okay, good. It's still at 5.14. Okay, great. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Okay. Main menu. Oh gosh. It's still trying to do something. It's still trying to upload or something. Ah! Yeah, if it can't fit, we should be fine. Just failed the upgrade and reboot. Okay, good. Yep, there it goes. Just failed and rebooted. And Chris, aren't you Worm? Aren't you the same? That's the same picture. Have a stream to use a Sonoff with ESP Home. Yeah, we'll have to do that. And we might, yeah, we can't do it today probably, but we'll do that. Yeah. Okay, there it goes. Great. All right. So it's back to working again. Let's try this again. Firmware upgrade. This is to celebrate the Nuts network. So what I wanted to do was this. Choose a file. Great. Now we're going to go to Flash Easy. And we decided that we needed to go from 5.14 up to the minimal, which was going to be basic. So it's going to be Sonoff Basic 671. Okay, so I'm going from 5.14 to Sonoff Basic 6.7.1. Okay, this should work. It's working in the background to update. Oh boy, I hope not. Start upgrade. It might be though. But how could it be? Upload successful. Not 6.2.1? Oh, I just heard it flash over there. We'll see what happens. Hey, there we go. 6.7.1. Great. All right. So let's do it to the next one. All right. So we're going to go here to upgrade, file upload again. This time it switched to Tasmota. So it's not called Sonoff bin anymore. It's called Tasmota. And we're going to go to Tasmota 7.2. Yep. Got to follow the path. Stay on the path. Stay on the path. Let's cheer. Yay, we got something right today. All right. This is one of those days where I think I could probably stay on the stream all day. I think I could probably just keep on streaming today. But I can't. Because I have to build my Mark Rober thing. You got lucky and it died, yeah. Okay, upload successful. The device will restart in a few seconds. I'll probably hear it click over there. Hello, Arthur. Yep, I just heard the device go off and on. So it restarted over there. Only 50 more devices to update. Oh, I don't even want to know how many devices I have to update. All right, so now we're on 7.2. We're going to do it again. Firmware upgrade. Choose a file. We're going to choose 8 point something something now. So down to Tasmota 8.51. And these are the lights. Don't forget, this is the light. Each one of these is the light version. If it needs minimal, it will auto two-step. Oh, sweet. So that means I don't have to do minimal in between 9.1 and 9.2. Sweet. All right, flicks my switch. Got your Dig Quad to play with. Have a good time. Start to upgrade. Ready, set, go. Oh, man. Although I have drank, I think, a whole 2-liter bottle so far today. Sven, it is called MQTT Explorer. MQTT Explorer. And when you first start it up, you connect it to your broker. And then it'll show you everything. It'll show you everything that's happening on the broker, whether you do anything or not. It will let you specifically publish to certain topics if you want, and it will let you listen or subscribe to, well, it'll show you everything. So you can just look at any old topic and it'll show you, or you can subscribe to specific topics. Okay, we're on 8.51. Yay. Second to last one. Now we can go to 9.1. Do I have to go from 8.5 to 9.1? Yeah, I have to go to 8.5 to 9.1, and then I can go to 9.2. I can't just go 8.5 to 9.2. Yeah. Light 9.1. Okay. And then I'm going to go to 9.2. You can clean up MQTT to delete topics to clean it up. Yeah. I should probably do that. I have a lot. A lot. Follow the path. Have I tried using NFC tags? I have played with it a little bit, and it's pretty cool. Either through the companion app or through the custom-built NFC reader. Yes, Gary. Actually, I built one of those. You're talking about Adono's. Adono. Is the guy who made this little. Actually, I have it. This little guy. So when Adono came up with these things, I built one because I had the parts for it. So I built one and we played with it on a stream and it worked. It was pretty cool. It was around the 12 streams of Christmas. It wasn't that long ago. It was in December. And then I had also bought one from him, which he did a really nice job with these cases and stuff. I mean, it looks really cool. And then he was just on the Home Assistant stream when they did put their new release out and talking about it and how they're changing some of the hardware and making it even smaller. Using more like a custom PCB instead of jumper wires and some of that kind of stuff. So maybe I like the complexity. Maybe I do. Monsters will eat you if you get off the path. You should know from D&D. That's the truth. That's the truth. You cannot rest off the path. All right. Now we're at 9.1. So let's go to 9.2. Firmware upgrade. So if you do this now, if I do this, this will go to the latest version, right? This is going to connect Sonoff, Maddox. If I go here, right, and just start this upgrade, that should get me 9.2, won't it? MQTT has a clear all retains button. Let's do that. Should work. Okay. So now I don't actually have to download it first and then upload it manually like this, right? I don't have to choose the file from my computer. I don't have to download it, choose it from my computer, blah, blah, blah. I can just hit this and it will go to this URL out in the UK and grab the latest sonoff.bin. Why would it be sonoff.bin? Shouldn't it be tasmota.bin? I don't think this is right. That link hasn't has been decommissioned. I think it has, actually. Is there a new one? No, Charles. Wrong URL. Is it just Tasmoda instead of Sonoff, or is it something else? It's been a while. Yeah, there's a new one on GitHub. All right. Well, I could do this, right? I could go to 9.2. Well, does it download it from GitHub like that? I want to see how it does it. Let's go back to this migration path. But it's not, like, I don't want it to have to go to the folder in GitHub every time, right? How's it going? Shark Tamer, what's up, Reese? Right click in the GitHub link and copy it. I could do that, but I guess the nice thing about this was that it was always going to grab the latest automatically, right? Yes, I did download. Yes, Tony, I did. I just wanted to show how you could do this. But hey, how's it going, Blade? Yeah, we're still on. We're almost done. So I could go here. I could go to the latest release, right? This is not 9.2. Oh, wait, is this the latest release right here? Oh yeah, this should be it. Tasmoda. And then if I just find, no, maybe it's not here. Darn it. You Blue arrives tomorrow. So if I go to releases, so that should be right. It doesn't have to go to, there's not a 9.2 folder. I just want to make sure that this URL is not the 9.2 folder or something. All right, so now I just want to go to here, Tasmoda bin. If I just right click this, and if I copy the link address and put it in here. Yeah, see, it is though. That's the problem, right? I don't want it to be releases download 9.2 because the next time, like start upgrade, this would have to be a new link. What I was hoping was that there would be a generic URL that would always point you to the latest Tasmoda bin, which probably doesn't work, right? It doesn't exist. So anyways, this will work. So we'll start the upgrade. Oh, wow. Thanks for Nogat. Johnny says. Not with an upgrade path like that seems to have. Yeah, right? Well, once you get to this point, I was hoping, oh, it didn't work. Or maybe is this doing the two-step thing, maybe? Because it still says 9.1 here. So maybe it's still doing the two-step process. If not, then just try it differently. Latest? Oh, there is a latest link. Oh, good. You just have to stay up to date. Yeah. Once you get to this, then there should be there is a latest link. So, let's try this. Let's try. The link I posted is from the upgrade documentation. Oh, Johnny, where'd you put it? Let's find it. I can't see it. I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. There's the link. Let's try this. Oops. No, that's not because I can't copy from there. And that goes to here. You see how it's cutting off? I don't know if you guys see it in the chat, but it's cutting off the link, and so I can't just copy that link. Yeah, put it in Discord. I can't just copy that link from the YouTube chat, and I can't click on it either. There it is. Thank you, Worm, and everybody else who's about to send it to me. Thank you. Is there good enough? Etc., etc. All right. Now, so this is the one you want. And my guess is that new versions of Tasmota, like if you were to start using a brand new version of Tasmota, this OTA URL is probably correct by default. The reason that we had to go through this whole thing for the last 10 minutes to get the right URL is because we started with version 5.14 of Tasmota from like 2017 or something. So this now is it. OTA, tasmota.com, Tasmota releases, tasmota.bin. That should be the run. Now let's start the upgrade. Oh, you should use the DrZzs is smaller. Oh, too late. So DIY tech and repairs, if you do that Tasmota admin upgrade, will it also follow the upgrade path if you have really old versions of Tasmota like 6.2 and 5.14, because that's what I had. You should use the DrZz version that auto unzips. Oh, whoops. Okay. Sorry. Just seems like a crappy user experience that is avoidable with little care about backward compatibility by the developers. I think it's a DIY community, so they probably are. Should show as minimal. Don't touch it. You need to do the upgrade every now and then, otherwise it won't work. Yeah. And I haven't done that. So we have to go all the way back to 5.14. It was the DrZz. I accidentally clicked it from 6.2 to 6.9 and bricked my plug. Oh, that's what happened, Seamus. That's what happened. I see. Do I use Tasmota Device Manager? No, I just started using Tasmota Backup. They have explained why it's not backwards compatible between major revisions, yeah. Not enough room for back compatibility. Small gain on file size by using the DrZz. Oh, bunch them together and do 5. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I could see that. So I think I will do that then. I think I will do that. So I'll just grab the ones that are on 5.14 and update them to 6.2 or whatever it was. And then I take all the ones that are on 6.2 and upgrade them to 7.14 or whatever. I see. Okay. Tasmota Device Manager. I tried using Tasmota Device Manager and I ran into some problems. It wouldn't run on my Windows computer and I don't remember why. 24 different PLA colors last week. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you use them all, Worm. I hope you use them all. My problem is I have a closet full of filament that I haven't used. That doesn't seem to be coming back up yet. Hopefully it's just yet. Beware of doing minimal first and so forth, but yes, it works if you got many. You can force upgrade with option 78.1, which turns off compatibility check. If you want to do that, but not sure how recommended. Yeah, it didn't sound like it would be very recommended. But it worked fine going from 8.3 to 9.2. Okay. Interesting. So this is concerning, but it might not be so bad. In the meantime, while that's doing its thing, let's look at ESP Home and specifically what Sonoff Basic there is. So if you wanted to use a Sonoff Basic with ESP Home, we haven't done the train today. Let's do this. Thank you very much. If you already have, so I already have a Sonoff that's running Tasmota, Sonoff Basic running Tasmota, I could use an ESP Home sketch and upload it, compile it and then upload it, right? So it's okay. So it's doing it. It's doing it. So it's on the minimal. I'm not going to touch it. The 18-wheeler train. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let it go. Okay. So Chris and Worm, you guys look too much alike on your pictures. I saw Chris and I was like, aren't you Worm? No. Chris and Worm are not the same person. It had to connect to the server to get it. Yeah. It's not on a, yes, you're right. I understand what you're saying, Worm. No, this is connected to the internet. It could be connected to the internet. True story. It is an 18-wheeler horn. Nope, not Worm. Go to bed. It's almost 10. Oh, what was the result of our, so let's talk about that for the last few minutes too while we're doing this. I'll go to the Ask channel too, so I remember to do that. I'm remembering all these things. I'm doing such a good job. Amazing. My wife loves it when I say stuff like that. So the poll for what time to stream. Now, this is a bad question to ask right now because none of the people who would have answered that they wanted to stream earlier. But anyways, there is a poll we put in I think it was in the general chat. I'll probably monitor it for a while. Maybe I'll even put something on YouTube. So for this year, our church meetings change time every year. And it changed this year to be, so 2021, we are now meeting at noon. So my normal stream time is now church time. So I need to change the normal stream time for 2021. I really liked noon, but it's going to change. So today, as you saw, it was like 1-ish, 1:30-ish. I could do, because church is at noon, I could do it before. So it had to be like, if I started, I would want to give us time to go beyond 2 hours. Plus I'd have to kind of get my shirt and tie on or whatever. So I would have to start either at 9:30 in the morning or at 1:30 in the afternoon. First time, where are you, Joshua? Are you in Hawaii or something? Once the device is done, then use the topic MQTT Explorer. I would have expected this to do something. Oh, yep, there it is. Yay, did it. You went over with a guest, yeah. You would have to cut short. Yep, that's right. And I wouldn't want to do that, So going before, plus that also means I have to get up. But I would, at the same time, it means I would get to take a nap, which is maybe what I'm going to go do right now. Hello, Mies from the Netherlands. What time is it here for me? Right now, it's 3:45. Almost midnight in Europe. I wish we would just all use the same time. Let's just all be on the same time zone. Can't we all just get along? GMT, I think I'm GMT -6 or -7, something like that. For a cheap Tasmota compatible plug. Oh gosh, there's tons of them. Gianluca, there's tons. Just go with anything that's based on Anything that's based on Tuya or Sonoff is fine. Later, Peanut Gallery. See it, Seamus. Yeah, I'm -7. Yeah, okay. And I think that might change based on daylight savings. Misclicked on the poll. What's the current status of the poll? Do you guys know? See, it's really late at night for a lot of you guys. I know we have a lot of people who watch Europe, that are in Europe that watch, and so it's getting really late. So if it's 3 o'clock here, it's 11, 12 o'clock there, which maybe isn't too bad, but a lot of you guys got to get up, go to work in the morning and stuff. So I don't know. $130 is leading. That's probably what it'll end up being. Just watching the stream while I try and get the baby to sleep. You want me to sing a lullaby? Na na da 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 da. 4 for 930, 3 for 130. Oh, 71% for managed to convert my workmates to Home Assistant junkies. Yes, all fitting smart sockets and LEDs. Get more how to. Oh, somebody asked about Permatrack. It's on the ocean. That's all I know. So now I think I can tell you guys. I guess we'll do it another time. Well, we'll go into details another time, but let me tell you this about Permatrack. Now I think I can tell you. I think it's safe to tell you. We had a company throw a patent infringement lawyer at us. I think we won. So we'll go into details next time, but and that happened in like November. So I didn't want to say anything because it was still sort of all pending. I think it's all pretty well cleared up now, it seems like. But yeah, they said there's a company. I'll go into details another time, but there's a company that said we were infringing their patent and we had to hire a lawyer and everything to sort it out. But now it's all sorted out. So, and it's on the ocean. We had 5,000 pieces under construction. And now it's on the ocean. It should be here. And I put in an order for another 5,000. So my goal is to build that sucker up, get as much of that stuff in stock as we possibly can, so that come September next year, we'll have 50,000 tracks to ship everywhere. And we have started, I made one arrangement so far, and I'm ready to make more of these similar arrangements for other countries. So if you're serious about buying a large quantity of Permatrack to distribute in your own country, location, or whatever, we can chat. Okay? Get at least 100 feet, maybe 150. Yeah, that's great. The guy with Wise had the same thing happen. Is that right, Nick? It was disheartening for a short period of time because I thought, oh crap, we're going to get, and that was right around Thanksgiving. It's like, oh man, we're going to get so much for having this great, thing. And, but it looks like we're going to be okay. So the whole reason we did this was to do the integration in Home Assistant, right? The Tasmota integration. So let's go here, integrations in my Home Assistant blue. We're going to turn this off so it looks normal. And then we're going to add an integration, I think, or does Tasmota show up here? It does not. Okay. So we're going to go here. Actually, let's shut off. Let's shut off set option. I want to see if it's on or off, and it's on. I want to shut it off. Okay, so now auto discovery is off. And I want to add an integration. And I'm going to look for Tasmota. There's Tasmota integration. Tasmota prefix topics, Tasmota discovery. I'm just going to leave it at the default. Finished. And now Tasmota, hopefully, will have a new device. So let's look at devices. I don't know how fast it goes. What has to happen? Yeah, I turned it off. I know. Yeah, John, they are. And we're getting it. And it's actually, you know what? Well, there's so much time. See, this is another one of those things where I said we could keep streaming all day. Restart the device. Oh, okay. We've got a specific website for Permatrack now. We've got a cool new logo for Permatrack now. So Permatrack is going to be its own monster. Is your topic Tasmoda or Sonoff? I hope now it's Tasmoda. But that's a good question because that's a great question. I have to turn this back on dark mode. Isn't there a dark mode in here now? I thought it was dark mode by default, but anyways. It's probably Sonoff. Oh, and it's a different MQTT broker. All right, Chris, have a good night. This should be pointing to the blue. So let's see if anything else. No, not yet. Will it show up in the Tasmoda integration? So if I go to the integration, is that where they show up? Still the old topic? It might be. Config doesn't change unless you change it. Okay, yeah, so it's going to have to be the new topic. Okay, so that goes full topic, Tasmoda password. Where do you change that new topic? Pull up MQTT Explorer. Yes, it will. Cut and run. Okay, see you. Good night, Tony. We'll probably have to do this. We'll have to finish this up another time. It's gonna be. You can see it in the integrations page. Oh, under other. Well, it doesn't. It does. Oh, it still needs MQTT also. Right. So this has got to be. This has to be the new MQTT broker. Okay. So we'll save that. And then under other. Nope, doesn't look like it needs to be under other. The web color command for dark mode. Ooh. Mounting 12 minute. Yes. Thank you very much, John, for answering them. The host is wrong. The host IP is wrong. Yeah. So now the host IP is correct. So now it's there. That's all we had to do. Okay. That's it. We didn't have to change the topic. We just had to change and it works. Okay. Yay. So we did it. 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 So as a summary, we'll summarize this and then we'll end. Okay. We'll summarize this. So what we did was we installed, let's go to this device here and look at this instead. Okay. So what we did was we installed the MQTT integration in Home Assistant. We set up a new Home Assistant user, which really just acts as what I would have considered in the past to be the host or the broker, user, and password. So each of your clients or each of your devices, your switches, need to connect to the broker and give a username and password. So you set up a specific username and password that they will use. You could use any Home Assistant username and password. You could use your default Home Assistant username and password. You don't have to set up a new one. But by setting up a new one now, it's sort of segregated and you can revoke that one. You can delete it. You can change it, right? But in each of your devices, like I just did, in each of your Tasmoda devices, you got to go in and put that username and password in. And once you do that, as long as your devices are on 9.2 or newer at some point, then when you do the Home Assistant or the Tasmoda, then when you install the Tasmoda integration, it will bring in any of your devices that are connected to that broker. Set option 31 to make it a light. Oh my gosh. Things have gotten so amazing. Set option 30, 1. So now when I look at this, is it going to show up as a light now instead of a switch? Yay, now it's a light instead of a switch. Benefit of moving current devices from MQTT to the Tasmota integration. I don't know. I'm going to do it, but ooh, disabled entities. Sensor. Oh, you can turn in all these sensors too. Wow. I guess the Tasmota, the reason to use the Tasmota integration is it's probably, to me, it seems like it's a little bit easier or maybe more complete than by using MQTT Discovery, because that would be the other similar option. And then if you don't use MQTT Discovery, which is set option 19 in Tasmota, if you don't use that, then you would, and you don't use the Tasmota integration, then you would have to manually create each of your Tasmota / MQTT devices manually in YAML. Can it be done without MQTT? No, it still uses MQTT to communicate, but really it's kind of hands off as far as MQTT goes, right? You don't have to go in and set up a sensor or go in and set up a switch and type out the topics. You didn't have to do that with MQTT Discovery either, but this just does it automatically, I guess. As soon as you set up a new Tasmota device, if you have the integration, it will just pop in. That's what it looks like to me. Let's see if that other switch ever came back. Yes, it did. Okay. Oh, good. It came back and it's on 9.2. Great. So, oh, wait. No, that's not the right one. It was 33. It was my Samfer. My Slamfer. Okay, good. So I'm going to have to go through and do the whole thing again because this is on 6.12. So it won't do it. It won't find it. But if I go to this one, so for example, here's an example. So this is a different device, different IP address. Okay, this is the Slamfer. If you don't know what a Slamfer is, I didn't. It's a device that connects between your light socket and your bulb. So that becomes the smart device. The ESP32 device and the relay are in there. So you've got a light socket. Then you've got the Slamfer screwed in there, and then you got a light bulb screwed into that. Anyways. Configuration, MQTT. So this one is connected to my MQTT broker on the blue. That's my Home Assistant blue IP address. If I go to configuration, if I go to the console, if I go to the console and I check my set option 19, which is MQTT Discovery, it's turned on. So if I go to my Home Assistant blue under Developer Tools and I look up the Slamfer is there because the Slamfer was using MQTT Discovery. So it was the reason that the Slamfer is in there is because I had MQTT Discovery turned on. So with my older devices, if I don't want to go through all that upgrade path, if I just change their broker and they have MQTT Discovery on, they'll just come in automatically. In order to be able to use the integration, I guess this is a switch here. If I go to set option 30 here, so if I go to set option 31, oh, I hit the wrong button. I do that a lot. You guys ever do that? Where you hit you hit main menu instead of return? Set option 31. So now I'm going to change that into a switch. I don't know if that works when it's 6.1 whatever. So I guess we'll go back here and see. So let's refresh this and we'll look for our Slamfer again. Now it's a light. Great. So it does work. So now it's a light. And it works. Turn it on, turn it off. So there's two different Tasmota devices. One of them is using the integration. One of them is just using MQTT Discovery. They seem okay. The one thing that I don't see with this Slamfer light being part of the MQTT discovery because I don't have another way of looking at everything else associated with it. I don't see all of the other things that I could turn on. So for example, if I go back to the integration and go back to the Tasmota integration and look at this device, it says I've got 8 disabled entities. If I click on those, this will tell me things like the last restart time. It will, the restart reason, the RSSI, the signal strength, what SSID is it connected to? So MQTT discovery, maybe that's there, but I would probably have to turn that on some other way. Here, if I wanted that, I could just turn it on, right? I could enable disabled devices. I don't remember how you do that, but you do that in here somewhere. Enable entity. So I could just enable it here, and then I would have a new sensor that would give me the restart reason. So that's probably available somehow in MQTT discovery, but oh, you have to do manual YAML to get those. Well, there you go. Then that might be the main advantage, or at least another significant advantage, right? Less maintenance of MQTT. Yeah, you need to know less MQTT to do it. That's true, you do. You don't really have to you mess with your topics or anything, right? So anyways, let's get the kids signed up. Oh, we didn't do any answering of questions. Oh my gosh. Well, thank goodness there's only a few questions today, so let's go ahead and answer them. This guy that put this question in at 1:40 this afternoon is probably not watching anymore. But for Ben Nerve, was thinking about doing the Christmas lights. How many strands can the data signal be sent over before needing to be boosted again or to send a new one? So one data signal can usually go to 1,000 LEDs ballpark. You're going to have no problem at all with 800 LEDs. There's a limit of 1,500 generally. So there you go. I don't know what else to tell you other than that. So it's more about how many LEDs rather than how many strings. And as long as you're under, say, 800, you don't even have to worry about it. Generally, it's my thing. Oh, Reese. Oh, I didn't. Oh, Reese sent me a Home Assistant. I didn't know Reese sent a Home Assistant whole logo. Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at Brendan's, but I didn't look at yours. It's in my DMs. Okay, let's check. Reese. It's probably from a while ago, huh? You keep changing your name, so I don't know where you're at sometimes. Oh, there's the Hole Assistant logo. Nice. Actually, I like that one too, because it's a hole in the ground. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it is. Hole Assistant. Yep. That's for when you have a hobbit hole and you want to have a logo.
And you like Home Assistant?
And I do like Home Assistant, yes. And let's go back to answer the last question here in this questions. For those with a separate VLAN for IoT, do you run your Home Assistant on IoT VLAN or your main VLAN? That's Phil's question. I don't know. I don't have any answer to that one.
Oh, gone.
It's all gone. It's all gone. Did I push the button to call you guys up, or did you guys just come up?
Dawson came up.
Oh, Dawson just came and told you? Yeah, I did. All right. Whew. So the Hobbit hole door with a Hobbit icon. Yeah, there is another one, right? Brendan made another one too that I really like. If I go to Brendan Thomas. The other one that looks like the door is this one. I like this one a lot actually too. He did this with these windows, and I asked him to put this little thing over the top of them. He did, and it came out really good. I think we need to make this Hole Assistant text bigger maybe too, but anyways, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it.
Okay, let's do it. What's that? Oh, that camera, that's for let me see it. That's for Aidendale. So when we go up there this week, because we're going up to Aidendale this week, and we're going to put a camera up there so that we can get pictures of what's going on as we start construction, and then we can see if it snows, we can see if deer walk by, all that kind of stuff. Oh, it's totally it's waterproof, it's battery powered, it's everything.
It's camouflage.
It's camouflaged, it connects to a cell network, it's everything.
Wait, so what day are we going?
Every time we go there, do we need to charge it?
Yeah.
Daddy, what day are we going?
I'm not sure yet.
Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, the night shirt. Yeah, it's actually blue. Her shirt's blue, but it's still sort of disappearing. Camera trap. Okay, guys, what should we do for sign off?
What was I gonna say? What was I gonna
Hobbits.
say? No.
Like hobbits.
What was I gonna say? New Year's.
New Year's already happened. What's the next thing?
Harry Potter.
No. Yeah.
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter tonight.
Sign off like your favorite Harry Potter character.
Wait. How do you?
I only know one way to do one.
I'm gonna sign off like Hagrid. Ready?
I'm Hermione.
Ready?
Always.
As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, adios.
That's Wingardium Leviosa.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your help. I'm glad we got through it finally. See you later. Bye.
I didn't even do the audio sign.
Do it now.